Master, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. The career can be a complex animal. Careers can bring meaning and value to our lives, but can also be sources of stress and anxiety. And I'm at a particularly exciting point in my career that I've just started a new position that I feel really encompasses the things that I have enjoyed the most throughout my career up to this point. And I'm talking about sales, marketing, and technology. I'm going to walk you through the early stages of my career, and then I'll tell you a little bit about my new job. When you really get down to the heart of me, of Forrest, I'm a relationships person. I'm a connections person. And this is what brought me to an inside sales position as my first job out of undergrad. Now, I really enjoyed inside sales. I got to talk on the phone a lot, quote on orders, handle complaints every now and again. And one of the things I did in that job was outbound dialing, telemarketing, cold calling. One of the scariest things for both the answerer and the caller in a lot of situations, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. I mean, I got hung up on a time or two and had some grumpy people, but several times I also got a situation where I realized if I really knew the right questions to ask, and asked them in the right way, and did my homework beforehand, the person on the other end of the line would understand that I actually cared about the business they were in. And we'd have a conversation, and a time or two it actually resulted in a very valuable relationship. Now I got to a point in that position where I realized that I'd gotten as far as I could go in that role, and so I switched to a different industry. I went into the media industry, took a job as an outside salesperson / account manager for the daily newspaper, the Bellingham Herald. And in that role I got to go from store to store and restaurant to restaurant and talk to the store owners and the restaurateurs and have conversations about the marketing and advertising that they were doing. And the other thing that was wonderful about that job was I got trained in the basics of marketing, the 4 Ps, the SWOT analysis, and so forth. I never studied this in school. But it was so exciting to me. And the conversations that I had made me realize that, again, I wanted to go bigger. I wanted to do business and marketing bigger. And I thought, where can I take my business and marketing chops to the next level? And the answer that I came up with was to get myself an MBA. So I applied to some programs, talked it over with my wife, and we decided to move to Iowa City, where I would attend the University of Iowa and go to graduate school. And it was all there. Brand positioning, analytics, quantitative, qualitative, predictive, descriptive. It blew this Bellingham boy's mind wide open. And the 2 years flew by. And at the end of my time there, I walked across the stage with a fancy new diploma and a mountain of debt, and most apocalyptically, not a single job offer. So my wife and I decided to road trip home to stay with family. And as much as limping back to town with my tail between my legs was about as attractive as a root canal, it was the only option at the time that didn't require income. So that's what we did. But, as fate would have it, on the drive home, I got an email from a recruiter at a company called Marchex, a mobile advertising technology company, that I'd applied to a few weeks prior. And a couple weeks later, I started my job as an account manager at Marchex. Now, I would like to say that the move from the media industry, the legacy media industry, to technology was a smooth one. I just glided right in there, no problems, but that would not be the truth. There were some pains, some growing pains, some ramp involved. I felt very overwhelmed at times, but I actually learned what an API was. I learned what a sprint was. And I learned how to help my clients get the most value out of a very complex technology platform. And that was where I came to really love technology. But again, at a certain point, I realized that it was time for a change. I took some time off. I did some searching of the job variety, some searching of the soul variety, and I found a job listing for a technology company that had created a video conferencing platform for market researchers to talk to their consumers in real time around the world. It's a huge cost saving, hassle savings for insights professionals and marketers. And they were looking for a sales guy. And I thought, I better apply to this. Well, sure enough, one thing led to another, and I got the job at Discuss.io. Now, it's a sales role again, so there are some pretty lofty goals that I'm shooting for. And success success is not guaranteed. So there's a little bit of stress and anxiety there. But I know I would never forgive myself if I went for a safer option at this point in my career. So I'm super excited and a little anxious to be taking this next career leap of faith. Thank you very much.
Could we have 1 minute on the timer, please?
That's time.
All right, thank you. Our next speaker is doing project number 2 from the advanced manual, the entertaining speaker. It's his first speech in over a year, but he's new to us anyway, so it's his first speech with us. He is working on becoming a better storyteller. With Morning Hill, please welcome Stephen Schwab.
Madam Toastmaster and Toastmasters, Stephanie, guests. Summer of 1967 was the dawning of the age of Aquarius. 20-somethings flocked to San Francisco. They wanted to have a world of free love without the strictures and the fear of the 1950s. One of those people was named Joseph. He came from suburban Chicago. And another was Harriet. She came from New Jersey, and they met in San Francisco. They shared free love. They shared their drugs. And they shared their dreams. And they loved San Francisco until the marketing got a hold of the summer of love and used it as a marketing ploy. They became disenchanted. And the true believers then heard about an asteroid that was going to hit the West Coast. Colorado was the place to be, the safest place in the country if that asteroid did hit. They used words like groovy, copacetic, cool. One of the words that Joe used was rich. Oh, Harriet, that's rich. Oh, that's so rich. Let's go to Colorado. It's rich. Okay, move to Colorado. They moved to Colorado, and an asteroid did hit. Came in the form of Harriet. She sat there next to Joe one night, thinking about her life, and she didn't want to go with the flow anymore. She had other dreams. She told Joe the next morning. He held her in his arms. He said, "My life is richer because of you." And he kissed her goodbye. And in the golden quaking of the aspens, she went back to school. Fast forward 30 years. There's a condo on the northwest side of Queen Anne Hill. Had Harriet's name on the outside. hard. She desired a lot. She worked hard for what she got. And she had this condo that faced Magnolia. She didn't really get a chance to see too much of the sunsets because she worked so hard. She never got to see the sun dipping behind the Olympics. Now for her time was the morning. And her time was spent in the morning sipping her coffee, smelling its richness, and watching the day break. She watched the crows come alive, the seagulls, heard the ferry boats leave, and then she worked. That was all going to change. There was an asteroid coming. Had Joe's name on it. One night she came home late from work. She heard the phone ringing, the message recorder coming on. She goes and the keys leaves her briefcase down at the back, right by the door. Hello, Joe. She met him that night over here at the Denny's in West Seattle. For coffee, they talked. And she had that same giddy 20-year-old feeling that you have when you fall in love with somebody. She listened to him, his stories. He spent the greater part of the last 30 years drifting, drinking, and drugging. But it had been about 8, 9 years now that he was clean. He lived in White Center in a house with a bunch of guys and he did odd jobs. The next morning, she's on her deck and she's thinking about Joe. His positive attitude, his masculinity, his humor, and the smell of him when he hugged her goodbye. They dated. And then one day, after a job site, he goes to the airport to meet her flight. And he's there, he sees her coming down the jetway. He smiles. She sees him and she stiffens. And she walks up that jetway, follow me. She walks across the sky bridge, goes into the car, it's open. She sits in the car, he follows. He said, don't you ever come to the airport dressed like that again. I have clients and associates with me and those are beautiful flowers. He looks at her, didn't know what to say. So, they continue to date. And he's staying with her, and he realizes that he's intuitive enough. He is intuitive enough to give her time. He lets her enjoy the mornings, have her free time, and then he goes up from behind her, he hugs her, kisses the nape of her neck. Good morning, Joe. Gets the day going. A couple months later, he gets a new job. He has a new job over at Hewing Brothers selling used cars. To celebrate his first commission check, he meets her at the airport. He doesn't smile from the jetway when he sees, from the concourse when he sees her coming down the jetway, not this time. He's not sure. She sees him, and she smiles. And he beams. Oh, Joe, she gives him a big hug. She takes the flowers, he takes her briefcase, and they walk out of the airport. He's got on a suit. Collars, the lapels are too wide, pants flare at the bottom, got it at Value Village. But that's her Joe. They see more and more of each other. He's still beaming, and just about the time she's going to ask him to move in with her permanently. She wakes up in the middle of the night. He's flashing around in the bed, flailing around in the bed, gurgling, going like this, trying to get his throat clear. She's, Joe, Joe, Joe. She's trying to do CPR on him and clear his airway. She dials 911. They finally come, and when they do the motion, she knows they're doing it for her. Because Joe's gone. And it takes her a long time to get over that. She doesn't go out on